Here we go, my next video in the Cancelathon. Let's talk about this. This is Saga, and my prompt for this one was like a cartoon, read a graphic novel or manga. Saga I picked because it's slightly controversial for some reason, although reading it I really don't see why. And let's go into the dive, shall we? So Saga is a space opera heavily inspired by Star Wars and Dune that is about a warring galaxy, an interracial love affair and a child. And I have to admit, part one kind of left me a little bit cold. It's not bad by any means, it's actually very good, but it wasn't until I read volume 2 that I really got into it and the nitty-gritty just felt right. Volume 1 I found a little bit slow in places. So this deals with a lot of social justice issues, such as race issues, but all told through a lens of a warring galaxy. It's actually really interesting, and oddly I'd like to see it on screen or as a television series. I think it has a lot of potential that way. Why is it controversial? So apparently, due to its themes that deal with social justice and its themes of sex and nudity and interracialness and other things, it has been challenged in many libraries and in schools, which I find really strange. I do think this is not for children though. This is not a child's comic book. This comic book is definitely for an adult audience, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do like the characters. The characters are so varied and funny, and each one has a really great personality. I like the pacing and the storytelling. I also like the way the story is told, as in the sense of how it frames everything, the setup, the mood. I like the fact it deals with issues but done in more of an abstract way. The art style, I think, is equally important as a comic book, in a comic book, than as the text, because that's your description. And when I read Pumpkinheads, that just disappointed me, full stop. This, on the other hand, the art style is rich and vivid and bright, and it really does pull you in. It pulls you into the world so fluidly and so brilliantly. Like, the artists that do this really have excelled themselves. The downside to Saga is that you do have to read on to really get pulled in. Like I said at the start, it was volume 2 and 3 that really pulled me into this world and the story and the characters. Volume 1 just sets everything up. It's a long prelogue to what's coming and sets up characters, but that's about it. I don't think it's my favourite graphic novel I've ever read. And I know people have been raving about Saga for such a long time, but it was just missing something. Maybe it's my taste in science fiction, because I don't like space operas as much. I prefer science fiction to science fantasy, and this is very much in the science fantasy realm, which is not an issue at all, but it does bug me when people call it science fiction, when it's clearly not. But it's enjoyable. It deals with issues. It deals with them in a topical and interesting way. It doesn't feel forced. It feels like a real inhabited worlds. I'll use pluralizing that. But yeah, just overall a really good, strong, great graphic novel. And I can't wait for more, to be honest. I'm going to keep reading these because apparently they get better and better. So, yes, that was my like a cartoon for the readathon. Well, the Cancelathon. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.